Before Candy Crush and Angry Birds, it was the game that had mobile phone users glued to their screens. Snake was added onto the Nokia 6110 in 1997, and quickly became a global phenomenon. Its simple concept involves controlling a serpent to pick up pieces of cellular food, all the while avoiding obstacles like its own tail and the edge of the screen. The mobile game turned devices whose primary functions were making calls and sending SMS texts into a handheld games console. As the game turns 25 tomorrow. Mail Online asked experts exactly why the concept of a snake chasing a piece of food has stood the test of time. William Cox, from video game developer Quali, thinks the frustration one feels when losing a game of Snake is what made it so addictive. Speaking exclusively to Mail Online, he said, "You'd always want to come back for more with Snake. It's simple and it frustrates you in a carefully balanced way, so you're willing to start again from scratch each time. Beating your own high score, or your friends', is immensely satisfying. Mobile games succeed or fail based on their core gameplay and mechanics. Everything else is a bonus. The simplicity of Snake's controls help make it addictive. I played Snake so much that I did manage to fill the screen and beat the game. It's iconic and part of the history of the games industry, as well as the nostalgia that so many of us have playing our first games on our first phones." 1977 Blockade was released, an arcade game where two players move their characters around, leaving a solid line behind him that they must avoid. 1977 to 1992 Bigfoot Bonkers, Worm, Nibbler, Rattler Race etc. released. Similar games to Blockade were released on different consoles, including the home computer. 1997 Snake added to Nokia 6110, developed by Taneli Armanto. The first Nokia iteration of the game was released. 2002 first color version released on Nokia 9290 Communicator. The fourth Nokia iteration of Snake supported multiplayer through Bluetooth and infrared. 2005 to 3D versions released on Nokia phones, Snakes, and Snake 3 Feet were available on the company's first smartphones. 2017 Snake released on Facebook Messenger and on the Google search engine. 2021 rebooted version of Nokia 6310 released with Snake installed. Simon Lee, CEO of app development agency Glance, said that Snake was the first mobile game where the player was pitted against their own skill. He told Mail Online, "There weren't levels as such nor enemies to kill. It was pure reaction speed and the most basic of game mechanics, pure one-handed game playing. It's a great example of simplicity where the lack of levels is replaced by your own reactions and choices in order to create an increasingly difficult experience. The simplicity of it and the short game loop, how long before you lose, meant it was of the first truly pick-up-and-play type of games whilst waiting for a train or bus." The concept of Snake was actually drawn up in 1976 as a two-player arcade game called Blockade by video game company Gremlin Interactive. Players would use arrow keys to move their character while leaving a solid trail behind them, and try to dodge hitting the other player or their respective trails. After a few further iterations, Snake was launched by Finnish company Nokia for their monochrome 6110 phone and programmed by Taneli Armanto. Armanto conceived the idea for the game after the product marketing team requested a game be developed that would take advantage of the infrared link. While Snake is most well known as a single-player game, it was possible to play against a friend using infrared feature. The developer told online publication It's Nice Thatha was also inspired by a similar two-player game he had come across on a Macintosh computer.